Hi guys, Sheteachesart here, your favorite. This episode was supposed to be posted last month. A month ago, a little over a month ago. So when we're talking about winter break and things leading up to winter break, just pretend like we're still there. Just go back in time, just a little bit, and everything's gonna be fine. And hey, I'm sorry. Nobody cares but me, but me and all of us. But I'm sorry. Intro and episode.
Welcome to
TeacherCORE.
It's been a minute since
Oh
we've
my
all gotten
gosh.
together.
It's holiday season, y'all.
It's holiday season. We're all feeling it. We're feeling it. The students are feeling it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Everybody is on like crackhead energy, but also like exhausted.
Yes.
Everybody's getting in fights. Everyone's just trying to go home.
It's like
We're
the feeling
checked
of
out.
it's like the feeling of being at a sleepover and it's 3 a.m. and you just have this chaotic energy where you're just so overtired and so burnt out and so overstimulated that you just start
You're like
doing
delusional.
nonsensical things.
Crackhead energy.
And then mom comes downstairs and is yelling at you for the things that you're doing. And I feel like I'm hosting a giant, crazy sleepover with kids that haven't slept in 48 hours.
Yeah, but I'm also one of the crackhead kids
Yeah.
who's acting insane.
Yeah.
A kid
We're
got a
added
video of
into
me.
that.
I put on the Wicked soundtrack while they were doing one of their warm-ups, and it was the perfect amount of time that we could listen to Defying Gravity
Amazing.
for the Wicked movie. And let's just say I put on a full lip sync performance. But they got a video of that, and I just looked at it and went, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
Needed
that makes
that.
sense right now.
Yeah.
It
Needed
makes
that.
sense.
Well, while I'm expecting my kids to do academic work, I'm lip syncing to Cynthia Erivo. Thank you, girl. God bless you. I will be seeing you again. I have to go see you a second and third time.
I
It
just
was
give them the full
lovely.
performance, and I'm not the music teacher here. I'm just singing.
Well, I don't know.
Just-
JD just posted a video. She sent me a video of her singing, and she was like, "Do you approve?" I was like, "Girl, the vocals are
Sounds
vocaling."
amazing.
I know.
Sometimes I tap
Oh,
into it.
A
We
woman
should
of
all
many
do
talents.
the one time when we all get together, we should do a video of us all doing the different things that we do.
Oh my god. That's really
Yeah,
funny.
So
I like
JD
that.
and Meg, you're gonna coach me and JD through basketball
Perfect.
or some kind of gym game.
That's
Mhm.
funny.
You'll teach us how to draw because I can't draw, and I'll teach y'all how to sing.
That's actually a wonderful idea.
We're gonna be like seated crisscross applesauce, and you're gonna be
That's gonna be great.
Ready, go.
I think today we need a space to just vent and express what has been going on and what it is like to be a teacher, like in between this awkward period of Thanksgiving break and Christmas break, like because we teach in America, I'm sure it's not the same way for every teacher everywhere, but there's what, a 3-week period, 4-week period?
Usually it's like 3, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Thanksgiving break, and then 3 weeks, and then winter break.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then you come
and
back in
it's-
2025.
And it's this really weird time, and it's a time where everybody wants to slack off, but you have to be like on your game more than ever because if you're not, then they're extra not
Yeah,
because they're just
because
anticipating it.
The students want to slack off. Obviously, we want to slack off, but we can't do that. We have to keep our game face on with that. And it's so hard because the week of Thanksgiving is like 2 or 3 days. And, it's like, do we start anything? Do we just, for me, have like free play in the gym? Like, what do the kids want? They don't want to do anything. It's a half day. What do we do? But at the same time, like, if you lower that expectation, the kids are going to jump on that and be like, oh, well, this week we got to just chill and do this. And then it's hard to put them back on track. And then they go home and they have the break and
they have no routine. Then they come in acting
they're
insane.
exhausted. Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're
It's
up
insane.
till 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Especially in like the music world right now.
It's all
I
show
put on my
season.
story this morning. If you have a musician in your life, any musician, just give him a giant hug. Because it's great because we're booked and busy this season, but girl, we are booked and busy this season.
Yeah. You have
The
something
holidays.
tonight, right?
Yeah, we have our winter concert tonight.
It's gonna be amazing. Can we zoom in? Can we do it?
Oh my God. I'm zooming on my laptop.
I would
Pod
love
from
to
the stage.
support from Virginia.
I'll send y'all videos, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be
please.
great. But my mind is like
Yeah.
in all the places right now. It's gonna be insane. Just hosting hundreds of people in my auditorium, corralling teenagers as if they are little tiny kittens.
The pressure is
Right.
on.
Right.
The
And yeah,
pressure is on.
it's a crazy time of year. We want to keep it fun. as well. Like this week we're doing an underground spirit week for teachers. Have y'all heard of that?
Yeah.
So
We did that.
the kids are starting to catch on, and I want to do that fun stuff. So today was anything but a water bottle. So I'm like drinking my water out of a syrup jug, and the kids were like, like yesterday was all the same color,
And you're like,
Uh-huh.
the
what?
kids like didn't really get it, but today they're like, is everything okay? And I'm
Yeah.
just like, you'll understand later. But
Yeah.
I was
You
getting
have a
so many
syrup
questions about
bottle.
that.
Your other teacher has like a Home Depot bucket.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. So they're
disgusting.
like catching on. Tomorrow's just like a student. So it's
Funny.
fun, but also like at the same time, like when you're joking around and playing with the kids, they want to do the same thing right
Yeah.
before. And I was
Yeah.
just telling y'all before we got on, I had to like re-lock into my fourth block today. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be mean. I warned them from the get-go. I'm like, I'm gonna be mean right now. And they're like, oh, we've never seen you mean. But just you can always re-lock in, especially
Mean.
yeah.
Establishing
Especially
expectations.
as I'm like up at the front smiling from ear to ear, and I'm like, no
Yeah.
phones,
Oh,
no
I've been mean.
reminder.
I've been mean. I'll admit to that.
Oh my
Yeah, like,
goodness.
and they're like, oh, like, what's wrong with you? And like this one
Yeah.
kid was like, dang, Miss Matt, you've had a long day. And I'm like, no, I haven't. But
Not
like, I like
even.
want
Been
to
a long
already
hour.
like don't even want to have to stop. Like right at the beginning of class, we're getting in there. I'm telling you what the expectations are. This is what we're doing, or there's going to be consequences. So
Yeah.
it's like you want to be the fun, like happy holidays. Let's watch Elf, but we can't. We simply
Not
cannot.
yet.
It's the
Not
time.
yet.
It's too early.
It's the time to
Really.
establish rituals and routines because everything
Mhm.
is so off in their lives for routine wise. So this is the one space that it has to stay
Yeah.
consistent. I had a similar thing. It was the day or 2 days before Thanksgiving break because it's been better now because I think that I really like hammered it home that they need to get it together, especially in the art room. It's just the materials they've been disrespecting like crazy. Like
Mhm.
I have things that are just ruined. And like so much has been ruined in the past week and I'm like that's I guess my fault because I wasn't clear enough, but like
Mhm.
what is going on that you've been fine all year and now it's just been like I have money down the drain because you can't
Yeah.
like control your hands. But the day or two before Thanksgiving break it was so bad.
Yeah.
I had kids throwing things around the room. And like these are students that I know and students that I have a great rapport with, great relationships with. I've always prided myself on good classroom management, especially with this group of students because I feel very confident and comfortable with them, but they was just throwing stuff around the room. I had a kid like ball up a bunch of wet paper towels and throw it at me and hit me in the chest with it, which is like that's not like
That's like crazy to do
I
to a
would have.
teacher, though.
and
Like
yeah.
automatic referral. Like
Oh, and
don't
it
know what I would have
was.
done in that
And it
I don't either
was,
situation.
though.
and we cleared it up. I'm not gonna speak on it because whatever, and it was
Yeah.
fine. But I was just so direct and so stern. And I think
Yeah.
that there's like I get so many comments that are like, you seem like such a fun teacher, and I just want to take your class. And I'm like, I'm not that nice in person. I'm very,
Mhm.
very direct. And I had a kid that came up to me at the end of class and was like, are you okay? And I was like, I am, but also not really, because you guys have just been really testing me like the
Yeah.
past week. So like I'm okay, you're okay, but
Mhm.
it's taking a lot to keep composure with
Yeah.
some folks. And I'm like,
But
if the
all of
kids are
this,
asking me if I'm okay, I'm like, oh my God, I'm
no,
so
Yeah.
truly. But with all of this, I just keep thinking, thank God I don't teach elementary school. Oh my
Yes.
God. With how much like candy and sugar rush and just like stuff,
And
I can't even imagine I can't imagine being an
mhm.
elementary school
I
teacher kind of ever, but
and yeah,
especially right now, insane.
the overstimulation of that group because as
Oh,
y'all know, I student taught in that. Like this time of year, crazy
we need to
with
have
all
Autumn
that.
on, Autumn the art teacher. Well,
Yes, Autumn.
we'll have her
yes.
on soon. We're gonna schedule, but we need to pick her brain about that because
Her.
we all love her so
Yeah.
much.
Uh-huh.
And she is just so on it all the time. I'm like, I need to know like what it looks like the scheduling and the scaffolding and everything that you do
Right.
and I want to compare
Yeah.
it to what we do because it's got to be so
I
much.
know. I
Yeah, I
mean,
will say from like the music, so usually each grade has art or music like once a week. So you do kind of get to use the same lesson every day for 5 days
mhm.
straight. It's
Right.
just like the type of like on you have to be for elementary kids.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't
Insane.
an off day like high school. I have my off days and they're
Right.
self-sufficient enough. And it's not like I have an off day to the point where it's like the class is
Right.
haywire or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I can have a day where I'm not on my game because I have
Mhm.
self-sufficient students and I know that if I'm not like walking around, like if I'm like doing a little bit of grading at my desk or something, like I know that they'll be okay and
They'll
they'll
be
come up to
good.
me and they have a question if it's a long-term project that they're working on. But like, and I'm sure there's moments you could do that for elementary, like silent reading, but like for an elective where it's like that's their one time a week to get that lesson. And no matter how tired you are that day is still one day for those
Yeah.
students to get stuff
Mhm.
done.
Yeah, for some kids, like that's their favorite day of the week, and they've
Yeah.
been looking forward to it all week. So, yeah, you got to be able to deliver it for
Yeah.
sure and put on that face. So I think that's my favorite part about high school is that they are self-sufficient for the most part. You know, it's like direct them and then they're good to go.
For the most part, yeah.
Mhm.
I still think high school you used to have to do the same amount. They're just like big toddlers.
Yeah,
So it's
true.
just like more destruction that can happen, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're so right.
And the
They're
rough
just
housing.
giant toddlers.
Yeah,
The
it's the
roughhousing is
roughhousing.
crazy.
Like,
They're
why
like
not touching?
wrestling in the middle of the hallway.
Yeah,
They're
the
always
boys-
touching each other.
The
touching?
boys specifically, and I thought middle school, like we were gonna get past that. They
No.
always have to be. They'll just come up behind one another and just choke hold.
It's the
immediately.
stance.
Like
They
I'm like,
walk up-
whoa.
They walk up and have like a like that they're about to like a dog, like they're about to pounce.
Yeah.
And
Literally.
I'm like, don't stop it. And they're
Boys
like,
are so like they're so silly.
They
I
are.
can't. They just like they need to be like touching each other somehow in the hallway.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, I don't know how to. Okay, I
Right.
guess.
Like
Have fun.
all the people that say like girls and boys mature at the same time have never taught middle or high school to see them side by side
I've told you
and
my favorite
how
line.
off it is.
Have I told you my favorite line? I just go,
I don't
"Can we
know.
stop being intimate with one another?" And they're instantly like,
I always say save that for the weekends.
Save
Like,
it for the weekends.
Save it for the
Do it
weekends.
at home.
Like do your thing, but save it for the
Yeah.
weekends. That's
I just
like
say
that.
I say the same things I say with all the couples in the hallway.
Mhm.
It's just like, do it at home. Get a room.
Yeah.
Bleh. Stop kissing in the hallway. They don't like
Yeah.
that very much.
have you guys been feeling the burnout at all? The
A
past recently.
little. I think I've just been like with having to be just on. Like last week, every single day I was getting home earliest 8:30, 9.
Wow.
So I
Yeah.
was like,
Just
Mhm.
too
Please.
much.
please. So
Yeah.
Saturday I slept until like 11:30. And I
As you
haven't
should.
done that
Good for
since like
you.
high school. I didn't even know I was still capable.
Yeah,
I
think a
know.
you
little
don't
bit.
know you're so tired until you finally give yourself like, oh, I'm not going to set my alarm today.
Your
We'll see what
body tells
happens.
you.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
woke up at 6 o'clock and I was like, no way, bro. But then I went back. I was like, all right, I'll go back to sleep for as long as
Try
I
to roll
can.
over, turn the white noise back on. Then
Right.
it's lunchtime,
11:30.
11:30.
It's like,
Yeah, you
oh,
needed it.
I did.
Clearly,
I
you
did.
needed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've like fully felt the burnout. I think basketball season has just started, so like it's still the excitement for me, and like now it's definitely part of my routine to like be getting home later. But I feel like with certain parts of my day, I feel the burnout
Mhm.
Yeah.
when I see certain class. I love all of my classes, but my fourth block. Shout
It's
out
just
to y'all. If you're like, it's just like, come on, y'all. Like I have them.
Please.
They're 4x4. So every other my classes, I have them every other day for the rest of the school year. With this group only, I have them for like 3 more weeks. And I'm telling them that. I'm like, you're gonna miss me in 3 weeks. Can we just like have a good time together?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, when I even talk about this class, there's like 38 in there as well, so that makes it hard. It's just like overpopulated with that group,
Yeah.
and I
That's
maybe
a lot.
It's
That's
a lot. And I may be talking about like 10% of them. So it's not many, but it's
Is
like
that
that
a-
10% creates like
Is
a
that a
huge-
38 split and also in the classroom for health, or is it just
Yes, they don't fit. Like they barely fit. This is just me. Like I have 38
That can't
of
be
them.
legal.
It's
Like,
we're
into
on-
that.
So like the way that it works, this could be another topic. So if you cap over a certain number of students for all your classes put all together, you get paid like a stipend, an extra one. But even though I have 38, but I'm not capped at that because my other classes hit low enough that like, for
It
example,
balances
you
out.
need like 150 to get that paid stipend. I could be at 149, like, and it doesn't matter, but it's just not evenly dispersed. So I have 38 in one, and then like my first block is 26. So like I love that it's so much like you can have it's such a big difference when you
Yeah.
have, and again, end of the day, biggest class,
Gym,
big, yeah.
safety.
Yes, big personalities, athletes. Like I have a mix of everyone. Like we have like everyone fits like your typical like high school TV
It's like a
show.
movie.
Like it's a movie. Like every single person in there, it's out of a movie. Like
Yeah.
and we got them all. So
Hey,
it's
you're living a
overwhelming.
movie.
Yeah, I'm living it.
That
My
fourth
life is
block.
a movie. I say it all the time. My life is a movie. Fourth block.
Truly.
Let's just have a good ending. Fourth block, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Let's just,
let's
fourth block.
let's
Let's
end a
just
good
stay
note. You
strong.
never will have to take PE again in your life.
No. Y'all
Like,
are being
shit.
so brave. We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Thank you. Thank you.
Finish your
So
movie.
yeah, I know. But yeah, they're like obviously we're all ready for
Yeah.
Christmas break. So it's just like making an end goal for everyone and like here's how we're going to hit the end goal, and that's by following our classroom expectations still, and we're going to make it an enjoyable time. Like let's end the day on a good note. Let's end, this season before the new year on a good note. So just instilling those expectations
Yeah.
in them.
My
and
favorite kids right now are all my kids who are they're either Jehovah's Witnesses or they just don't celebrate like different holidays like
They're like,
Thanksgiving.
let's get to it. Let's get on track.
They're
Come
looking
on.
around like y'all are
Mhm.
insane. Like
Right.
what? Like can you relax? It's just another day. And, like watching them be like, all right, bro, let's just go.
Yeah.
Is probably that gets me through my day right now.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
like I'm honestly in the same boat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I definitely understand.
Yeah.
And we're doing like a door decorating contest for stuff. So on top of all the things, now I have to decorate my freaking door, which usually I'm excited about, but I'm like, I don't even know. And
Yeah, you just have so much going on.
and we're only in school for another like what week and a half. Like, is it even worth it at this point? I don't know. So I just do think do we really need to make things that special right now?
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
I
it's
don't know
just
if
so
I've
much.
I don't know if I've been like experiencing because I feel like I can't even say that I experienced burnout because it's my third year as a teacher. Like I feel like I have to reserve that for like I don't know. But like I feel like I've just been overwhelmed. And I'll be so honest too, because I feel like, and I wanted to talk about this when it happened, when we were going to record, and then we didn't, but I'll talk about it now. I don't know if I told you about this. I got a DM from, did I say this? I don't know. I got a DM from someone. So sweet. And they were like, either they are a teacher or they're going to be a teacher or they're a sub right now and they're like gonna go into teaching and they're just like, I don't know how you do it all. Like I don't know how it seems like you are so on all the time and you have such a great relationship with your students and you're able to still set boundaries with them and have good classroom management, but they all like you and they respect you and like I don't know how you just like do it all. And that made me feel bad because I, as both of you are, we're curating an experience online for people to view. And like, I'll just speak for me because I don't want to speak for anybody else. Like, I'm curating a positive experience online to show the positives of teaching and the fun sides of my job. I'm not recording when I'm scolding a class. I'm not like,
Right.
I'm not recording when I'm burnt out at the end of the day and I have like a laptop that's just sitting warm in my lap and I can't even like put the grade in because I'm just
Yeah,
like
like
I've
literally
been
move.
staring at it for too long. And I don't because I'm heavily watched by my district. I can't be posting negative things about my job.
Mhm.
So I don't, and like I'll just say like I don't do it all. Like especially this time of year, it's happened every year for the past 3 years. I just get like overwhelmed, I think, with everything. And
And
especially in
it's
the art
darker
classroom.
sooner.
Yes.
Pitch
The
black at like 4
seasonal
o'clock in the afternoon.
The
Mhm.
seasonal hits me heavy. It always has. Like my whole life, it always has. And now just with all of the responsibilities and having other people to be held accountable for, other than just like taking care of myself when all of that
Right.
hits, I'm like, oh my God. And it's not like I'm fine. It's not bad, but just like I wanted to say in this episode, because we're talking about like leading up to Christmas break and the craziness and everything. Like if you're going through it, it's okay. Because I swear I am too, and I swear we all are. It's just that
Yeah.
I can't talk about it as much as I would. Because listen,
No.
I'd be there with like a megahorn being like, "Oh, this is going on. This isn't fair. We need better." Blah blah blah. But I can't.
Yeah.
But
But I
just
feel
know
like
that
it's
it's
also
happening for me
hard
too.
being on the even things that like I remember I posted a video about like a kid asked me they're fully like 17 years old and they did not know what time noon was. Fully did not know. And so like I told them, but in the video I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like I just had to tell a kid what time noon was. And people, which is not a negative thing, but like, it's not like a happy-go-lucky positive thing. But then people in the comments were like, specifically on Instagram comments, TikTok was normal. Instagram comments went insane. They were like, oh my God, you're having a mental breakdown because a kid, like, just tell them what time noon is. I was like, first of all, if this is what you think a mental breakdown looks like.
Right. Yeah. You're like, I'm doing amazing.
Right.
I'm very happy
This
for
is
you. If
nothing.
this is what you think a mental breakdown looks like. But I mean, I just, in all in the sense that like, we're not super, like, yeah, we're heavily watched by our district. We don't really want to talk bad about our jobs and especially our kids. Like, we love them. So it's hard to be like, oh my God, this just sucked today. But especially we have to be super careful because people will literally, without knowing any information, come after us
Right.
for being like, why are you teaching? Like, just tell them, or they'll be like, I got really mad, but then I actually read the caption that you teach high school, and then I understood. I'm like, you see what media literacy?
Yeah, but also,
what
why'd you get
happens
mad?
when you read?
Why are we upset?
Why are we mad?
Why are we upset in the first place? It's a video. Scroll past. You're fine. Like, it'll be okay.
It's fine. Yeah. So to that regard, yeah, we all have a good time, but like.
And I think though the personalities that I feel we all have are we want to show the positive teaching. I mean, off camera we're gonna say the same things that we are on. Like, we love what we do. We love our students. We love our kids. So it's like off brand of us if we do post like a different video, but that's part of being like content creators. Like, we need to, I would say like 99% of my stuff is positive, but like, let me try a different thing and like talk about a funny story that happened today, or like the skits or whatever. And like sometimes the skits can be, or any other topic like is off of what your typical brand is, and then it's like, oh, like you're different than what we thought you were, or but it's like we're trying to hit multiple audiences. Like, we can't just be posting like day in the lives every single day, or like whatever, which I'm like,
and I think it's the same audience, but like when people are so used to us being so positive, like teaching is great and like we have all this stuff, and then you're like, actually this day really sucked. They're like, oh, but
like, don't be a teacher then.
Yeah, don't be
right. And it's like,
profession.
no,
shut up.
I still love it. Just this day sucked, and that's okay.
Let me experience a human emotion. Jeez.
Oh my God, yes.
I would still choose the job that we have over sitting at a desk
every
day, every
day of the week, like, twice on Sundays.
Yeah, but like you can still have we can have bad days.
Yes.
For like, many reasons.
Now, I'm like, I would have gotten a bag if I had set up my camera a couple of weeks ago and recorded myself crying in my class. Oh my God, I cried in my classroom a couple of weeks ago. I had an awful district observation. It was a surprise, and I just got so overwhelmed that when they left, I just started crying. And I was like laughing. I was laughing at the fact that I was crying, and it was after the paper towel thing, where like people were throwing things around the room, and then it was the last 5 minutes of class. Last 5 minutes of an art class, we're cleaning. Hey, we're cleaning up. I'm not doing bell-to-bell lectures. We're cleaning. And so it's like, after I had just like scolded for that, and I'm like, hey, put that down over there. Can you please wipe your table down? Like, can we just like be in this room for 5 more minutes? All of a sudden, superintendent, principal, vice principal, assistant principal, director of guidance, maybe somebody else all walk into my room. And they're just like, I'm going to take my headphones out for a second.
Oh no. Oh, that's a nightmare.
Spotify.
Hey cutie. Hey Spotify.
And thankfully my students are empathetic, and they could sense that they needed to act like they were
chill out.
They were acting, they were cleaning, but I had girls that had cleaned their table like 2 times in a row because they're like, we needed to look like we were doing something, and I was like, thank you. And I was just so overwhelmed because it was such a bad period. Like, oh my God, that was one of the worst classes I had all year. And if you're my student watching this, that's okay. I have a bad day too. That's fine. Like, that's okay for me to admit to you. And they just like left without.
Yikes.
They might have said thank you and like thank you for observing me. I respect all of you. Thank you so much. I'm just venting at the day that I
Also,
had. Thank you for observing me and I love you and you're my favorite.
walking
All of
into
you.
any classroom the last 5 to 10 minutes is cruel. Like, come on,
Oh,
that's
I
like
know.
we're getting things like we're preparing for the next class, like the transition period. Like as a
Hmm.
teacher, like sometimes if I know, like depending on what game we're doing or if we're in the classroom, I have a specific lesson. Like I will have my class prior, we'll pack up a little bit earlier and like it's like, okay, let's make sure all the desks are straight, let's make sure this is good. And they kind
yeah.
of are like my little minions, like we're getting stuff prepared for the next
Yeah.
class. So yeah, that's like sometimes the last 10 minutes. Like, oh, and then the last 3 minutes, like go ahead, go get your phones out of the box, whatever. So to walk in the last 10 minutes, not cool.
And then
Not
the
cool.
door shut, they left and the class left, and I was just like,
Let it out. I'm done.
I was crying. I think I called my dad. I was like,
Oh,
I'm gonna get fired. The sewing teaching's so bad. Like I was just so in my
baby.
head.
No.
I think I was PMSing too. I was like, I did such a bad job.
The
And then
stars align for you.
yeah.
We did
Stars that
everything
align.
that
So
day.
so we're feeling it too.
Yeah.
We're not all rainbows and
No.
butterflies. We love our job. At the end of the day, yes, I would rather
Yeah.
be getting a poor observation than being like typing into a spreadsheet somewhere else. So like
Okay.
I'd still prefer it. And and with that too, like with all of the leading up to Christmas break and it's so stressful, it's also such like a time for gratitude too. So we should talk about
Yes.
some things that we're grateful for too. Because
Yes.
I feel like and I'll tell it in a story too. We had our pep rally right before Thanksgiving break, and all the students are filing in, like going up to the bleachers and stuff. And I was standing, like, there's like teachers grouped over, like talking, which whatever, like they don't have to do what I was doing, and they were just talking.
Hmm.
But I was like up at the bleachers and I was like talking to kids and like leading them and telling them where to go. And it made me feel really good because at the end of the day, one of my admin found me and was like, thank you for like helping, like direct traffic. And my response was, well, they're fun to talk to. And I feel like it kind of threw him off a little bit because he was like, well, yeah, that's a nice way to put it. And I was like, I didn't mean it anything other than just that. That was just like my innate reaction. And I feel like my favorite part about my job and what I'm so grateful for every day, even the art club I just had, like I just like sit and I talk to people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like I almost like that more than the teaching part sometimes. It's because like you get to be that person that they go to talk about whatever they want to talk about and you can
Yeah.
be a sounding board for them and it helps me too sometimes. Like talking to them helps me like express what I need to express even if I'm not talking to
Mhm.
them directly about that. I'm just like I just love talking to them,
Yeah.
I think.
I feel like too on a daily basis, I have this realization hit me when I'm talking to the students that they're real, raw, amazing kids that are just gonna like go out into the world and like do insane things. And I'll just be sitting there talking to them, and I'm like, did a 16-year-old just give me that life advice, or
Yeah.
like give did I overhear them giving their opinion to another friend? And it's like I feel like in this world and day and age, and you see how kids are on social media or they're too locked into social media, whatever it is, it's so refreshing. And we get to see that on a daily basis. Like, no, these are good humans that I'm okay with, going out into the world or I just like, will look, I'll be like, whoa, this is so
Mhm.
cool. Like I was talking to my students the other day about like moving new apartments. I'm like, I just need like a new space, bigger. And they're like, you really deserve that. Like, good for you, Matt. Good for you, Miss Matt. And I'm like, thank you. Like I love that. They have
Yeah.
so much to give and so much care. And it's just cool for us to look just like I kind of just sit back and like, wow. Like it's cool. People the average person does not get to experience what we get to
No.
experience. They don't.
No.
And it's so hard to explain too. Even
It's
now when we're
so
talking
hard to
like
explain because every time we tell someone we're a teacher, they're like, "Oh, God bless you, thank you." Like it's
yeah.
Which
such this like,
fair.
yeah, which
Fair.
fair. You're right. You're so fair. But
Fair. But at
they're
the
the
same time,
ones. They're the
yeah.
ones that have no like. They're actually a lot of good students, a lot of great students, and
Yeah.
I think also now that I'm spending a lot extra time coaching again, it's like I'm spending even more time with them and like more raw moments where they can kind of check out of the classroom and like we're on the bus together or like we're
Yeah.
just chilling before practice and it's like, wow, you really hear what they're going through. Like they're, going right from practice to work or they're working on the weekends and they're grinding, they're doing their thing. So it's so cool that I get to experience that and y'all get to experience that too. Like it's
Mhm.
really It makes me feel super grateful.
And we get to
Sure.
watch them. Obviously, we have these jobs because we're so passionate about what we love, and seeing them fall in love with the thing that we love. It's just like gym and like doing like physical activity and health. I'm obviously very passionate about that. Art, music, like these are things that you have to be really passionate about to pursue something, especially to teach somebody else these things. So to watch human beings, especially when at first they did not like it at all.
Yeah, it's the
Watching
confidence.
them fall in love with it and grow that confidence and grow and
I
like
saw
build a
them.
community with those people. It's like, wait,
I tell them, I'm
I
like, you
had a
got to be
part in
brave
that.
enough to suck at something new.
For sure. Or like
Yeah.
when the kids come back from the weekend and they're like, Miss Matt, I like went to the gym with my dad this weekend, or I
Yeah.
ran this weekend. It's like I just didn't really have that growing up, that I wanted to run to school on a Monday morning and go tell my teacher what I just did, that because they influenced me. You know what I'm saying? Like I had teachers that impacted me, but never to the point where they influenced what I did outside of school. And I think like that's what's so important in the job that we have, is like we're teaching them things inside the classroom, and then we're also influencing them on a Saturday and Sunday when they're like doing whatever.
Not even
like
around,
we're
yeah.
popping up into their heads.
You
We had a part
in that.
And it's like that's such a blessing to be able to say like how many people that we're impacting, how many like students actually think about us outside of school. It's like it's surprise. It's like wow, that it makes you emotional.
It does. It's like
crazy.
I mean, they see how much we care. They can tell. Oh my gosh, they can. It's like I feel like my kids can clock immediately if adult comes in, if they're being real or not, or if they're like if they actually care about people or not, or they're just like putting on a front. They can clock it immediately. So the fact that even I was just telling them today, we have our concert today, and I'm going to be at school for 1,000 years. And one of my kids came up to me and was like, "Hey, are you like, what are you doing for dinner? Like, did you bring dinner?" And I was like, "Actually, no, I forgot." And she was like, "Well, if you like order something, like I can go pick it up for you." I was like,
so kind.
Just
like, what do you mean?
They care because you care.
Yeah.
And and that's one of those kids that at first she did not want to join choir. She did not care about any of that stuff, but now has immersed herself so much in the community that she's thinking about what I'm gonna have for dinner.
Yeah, what are you gonna have for dinner?
Bye.
And that's when you know someone cares about you. Is like when you say, "Did you eat today?" Like,
yes.
are you going to eat? Like that is like such a like love that you have for someone to make sure. And I do it with my students all the time. Like, are y'all eating today? Like, do we have enough water? Like, you genuinely care about that, and that's just something you can't teach. But they go off of your energy. They feed off that, because I feel like us being young teachers and a trusted adult, I hear a lot of what my students say about other teachers. And it's not always great. And it's like, they know, like, she doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about us. Like, I don't want to go to their class. So, like they're old enough that they know if you care. Just that energy. You know.
My favorite thing happened yesterday. I play music in class because it's like, unless I'm lecturing, obviously, or I don't lecture, unless I'm presenting or teaching or whatever. Like if it's a work period, if it's a studio period, I have music on in the background. And I went and I saw a band this weekend that I really, really liked. And so I played it for my students, and I played a couple of bands. And I'll shout them out too because they're smaller and they're local. A band called Winkler and a band called Bus Crush. And I played it for my students, and I was like, "You guys, like I went to a show this weekend, and I just want to show you, like they're really, really, they're not really small, but like in the grand scheme of like Spotify artists, I'm like, you guys should tap in and listen to them." And I started playing them, and I had like 3 different students pull out Shazam, and they were like, "Wait, but what's the name?
Let me add this.
And
that's
what's
cool.
that?" And I'm like, "Oh, just the connection over little mundane things. That's like I'm making a connection as like a trusted person in your life, not about the academic or not about anything like that, not even about school." And I'm just like, we're having a moment where we're bonding over something. I think that's just such a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful. And unless you experience it like we get to do, you don't know how meaningful it is. That's why like when I don't think about leaving this profession, but if like I'm like, what would fill my cup? When sometimes people are like, "Are you going to stay with teaching? What do you think?" And I'm like, Yes, because I truly don't know what else would fill my cup the way that this profession does. I think I would go in, like, even when the summer hits, I go through like, who am I when I'm not Miss Matt? Like, it's like a identity thing. Like, it's
Me too.
weird because like I'm
Yeah.
used to, that I don't know what I would do that would give me this fulfillment that we get all the time. So,
and I think I'm also grateful for that I'm able to feel that way about my job
yes.
because of my administration sees the impact that I've had and the impact that like the music department has had, that they actively support it and are actively like getting our name out there. The community sees it, and they're like, this Friday, we're going to Carol on like our town main street.
That's cute.
And it's for like all the local businesses are having like a cookie off. They're like, they invited us, like you can get all these free cookies, and they just really, because of the impact that maybe I've had on my kids or the kids have had on the community, that they're actively like embracing us and pulling us in. So I just think little things like that, the community administration, it just you just look around, you're like, this is what it's all about. This is this is it.
For sure. And I think that was the point of this episode, is to just like, this is a very crazy time. Like, from really November 1st, I would argue, until after. Like, once November hits, like something hits different till after, when we come back for break, or even weeks after we come back from break, because then it's going over routines. Although it's crazy, we are still every day so grateful. Even on bad days, we're still grateful. We're still so grateful.
Because it's like, it's something to care about at the end of the day. Even if it was a bad day, the fact that I registered that it was a bad day means I care in the first place.
Yeah. And
like,
I think
I'd rather care than be jaded, you know?
Right. And I think also reminding ourselves as teachers that for some students, this is the worst time of year for them, and they're dreading starting Thanksgiving break or Christmas break.
That'll make me emotional if we talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Like, that it's like, oh my
God.
God.
Pink tote moments. Oh my, like the pink tote moments that, you ever see that video of the girl who I think it was her stepmom or her mom was like freaking out at her because she was like, the mom was like, oh, can you go get me the pink thing? And she was like, what pink thing? And her mom started freaking out at her like bad because she didn't know what she was talking about, like how she's being disrespectful and da 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 da. So it's like a thing right now on the internet. It's like, oh, my pink tote moment, why kids don't talk to their parents after they move out, or why things like that. Thinking about those pink tote moments that I know my kids are going through each holiday, upsetting. That's something that I have to like. But what a blessing that I get to give them a break.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like another that motivates me to keep going and giving my best version of myself to the like that I can, because there are kids that are like dreading this break starting, and you see it. Like, there's some kids, like, if we're not leaving basketball until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and kids are still hanging out here because they just simply don't want to go home. Like, you pick up on that. Like, there's a reason that like school is truly some people's safe spot, and I'm like grateful enough to say like I didn't feel that way, and I was ready for breaks and ready to go home and do traditions and all that, but people don't have that. And that's why I like doing, like, I love hiding the elf, because like some kids never got that. Or like, let's have the warm, like, YouTube 20-hour long, like, snow and fire playing, and like, to make them feel that comfort, because they don't get that. So, I mean, I think we're all on the same page when it comes to realizing that and recognizing and relating to the students.
And highly favored.
We're blessed and highly favored. Blessed and highly favored. JD. Always.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm also so grateful for you too.
Aww.
So grateful for you too.
Yeah,
well,
I think
this has been a fabulous episode.
Yeah, it's a good reminder for us.
Yes, I feel like my cup has been refilled. For the rest
and it's gonna be overflowing after you crush this concert.
Yes.
Everyone send good vibes to Mac. At this point, when you hear this, it'll be done. But I know it's gonna be great. Yeah, just think about that. You're good.
I already said I was gonna be sick on Friday, so
boom. you truly need a mental health day for sure. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah.
We're thankful for y'all, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season.
Sending positive vibes to all the chaos that's happening in your schools right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we understand.
And not to be that like tone deaf person that's like find your why. Like that's not what we're trying to do. But like at the end of the day, you have a purpose for doing this, and you were meant to do this for a reason. And if you chose to do this and you want to do this,
It gets better.
It's gonna get better, and it ebbs and it flows. And the fact that it's feeling like something just means that you care at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%.
So, thank you
Boom.
guys for
Well
listening.
said. Thank you for listening.
This has been episode whatever of
TeacherCORE.
TeacherCORE.
I don't know.
Thanks.
Bye.